Ranger. Hello, and we are live. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you all for coming. It's good to see you. Tonight we are sponsored again by the generator. So glad to have the generator. Good to see you all here. Tonight we do have in PJ Cruikshank and Michael Kahn. How are you guys doing, kind sirs?
Hello.
It's good to see you.
Fantastic. Good. Yourself first.
Shout out to Jenny.
Oh yeah, okay. Do you know, when you said that, I started looking in chat for a Jenny there.
It's a good one. So tonight's one is a quite requested one I've had for the last few times. People have been emailing me about it and sending DMs and about Earth's rotation. Specifically, people like talking about the Foucault's pendulum and Eotvos effect and all that nonsense, you know. So I thought, why not short chat about it and see what we can do and everything. And well, I decided let me do a little demonstration to show even the things like the Eotvos effect to be actual stupid and rubbish. And people that push the Eotvos effect to things like scales, changing that you're lighter at the poles compared to the equator is just really ignorant rubbish, because they are just ignorant. They don't understand how scales work. They don't understand the variables that change the scale's parameters, and they don't actually, how can I put it, they've never done it themselves to actually know that it works. And if they do want to claim it, they usually take people like Wolfie that literally also doesn't understand moving a scale, moves it out of calibration. So we got 34 votes, and it says, does the Earth rotate? Yes, I believe so, 27%. Hell no, that is nonsense, 73%. So it's good to see such a large poll understand it does not rotate. Let me just say hi to everybody in chat quickly. It's good to see you guys. PK Parkway, good to see you. Michael Kahn, obviously. PJ, I can't see that name there. The link is in the way. It's good to see you all. Spraymate, that's me, obviously, my other account. Unirock, good to see you. Two Wolves, Alan Norstrand, thank you for coming, mate. Face Reality, glad you could make it. Awakening Soldier, it's always also good to see you, mate. Let's see who else. I saw more people. Professor Harvester, thank you for being here. It's always great to see you. Jimmy J, sorry. Thank you for coming. Fedron Gender, awesome to see you. Benton, glad you could make it. I saw you sent me a message, asked why your wrench is away. Sorry, mate, it's not just your wrench. I did remove everybody's wrenches. I did a wrench purge. As they say, I Mandela affected it. And I just gave a few because I just think it's going to be a bit more structured with only like 5 people having a wrench. So please don't take it personal or anything. It's just, I was thinking for the better of the channel. In the beginning it was great because I had so many trolls. Now all the trolls are too scared to do anything, so we don't really need all the wrenches. Thank you for coming. And then I got Arwen, thank you for coming. And Tony Whitcomb, always awesome to see you, mate. XB Black Ice, good to see you. Goldie, haven't seen you in a while, great to see you. Derek Nelson, Gary Y. Benga, the Jolly Man, it's always good to see you guys. So yeah, tonight I think is going to be an interesting one because it's got to do with Earth's rotation. Let's just get to it. Do you guys think Earth rotation is real?
Only on a Sunday morning when you're hungover from a Saturday night. That's it. Yeah. But apart from that, no. mean, biblically as well, like I said earlier, I think I put it up in chat. Was it Psalm says? It says in Psalms 104 that the earth's immovable. What's the exact scripture say?
Yeah, and I mean, even their own beloved Einstein said there's no instrument that will be possible to even detect rotation of the Earth. So
yeah, it said Psalms 104, verse 5. You who laid the foundations of the earth so that it should not be moved forever.
Yep.
So, I believe it.
Great to see you.
It's a belief. You see stars and so on moving.
Exactly.
Either Earth's moving or sky's moving, so it's a belief.
Yep. Good to see you, Was 777 and Sunflower. Television as well. It's glad to see you guys. Sorry guys, before we start, I just have to say I do have a type of a backup buddy. It's almost like a GoFundMe for my wife's mother. She's in need urgently of a operation, which is going to cost 160k. So, yeah. Unfortunately,
that's phenomenal money. Like
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's working at the cheapest we could get it. So if you guys do have any spare change to give, it would be very, very highly appreciated. It's for a hip replacement. She needs it quite urgently, and I mean, she's going backwards quite quickly, obviously, because she can't walk or anything. She started getting cysts and everything from the blood flow that's not really going through, and while it's getting quite urgent. So if you guys do somehow just have the heart to be able to help it, yeah, like I said, 160k is not cheap change.
it's mind blowing because in England you get them for free.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, with us, yeah, the problem is, let's say we do go to a government hospital, you don't know if you're going to come out alive or missing legs or arms or something.
Wow.
The problem is a lot of the, I mean, there's people here that literally go in and they just, let's say, go for a toe operation and they amputate their arm.
Wow.
Yeah, because they mix up the files or the doctor can't read, you know, or a lot of people, they go for minor surgeries and they never come out alive because they're using things that isn't even cleaned. It's not sterile. I mean, a few years back, my brother slammed his finger in a car door, and he got to the hospital, and it smelled like urine all over. It was so dirty. We ended up walking out and going to make a loan just so he can go to a private doctor to get his finger sorted out, or he would have lost his finger.
Crazy. I wouldn't know where I would have been without our NHS over here. Like, definitely.
Exactly, PJ. We don't know we're born here, really.
No,
Yeah.
definitely
No,
not.
we've got no problem like Flatzoid has with power. We've no problem with hospitals like, we don't really know we're born at all here.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, so the link is in the description, and it is here, so any help would definitely help, guys. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, like I said, it's quite if I had 160k, I would do it myself, but I just don't have that type of money. I mean, I'm struggling to just get a haircut for myself.
Well, what's that kind of money though, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, Better Than Gold, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Oturu, thank you for coming. Glad you could make it. And Simon. Yeah. So, let's get to it. What's the first thing that pops up to mind that they use to try and prove Earth's rotation?
Pendulum. Foucault's pendulum.
Foucault's pendulum. Okay, let's look up how a Foucault's pendulum works. Obviously, they're going to say Foucault's pendulum. Yeah. Foucault's pendulum. Well, yeah, in South Africa, we got 4 Foucault's pendulums, and I can tell you not one of them are in working function. You know why that is? It's because it's rubbish. That's why. Yeah. Let's see. The Foucault's pendulum is named for the French physicist Jean Foucault, pronounced Foucault, who used it in 1851 to demonstrate the rotation of the Earth. It was the first satisfactory demonstration of the Earth's rotation using laboratory apparatus rather than astronomical observations. So let's go in and read it. Dr. As Baswood and Quinlan 1977, thank you for coming. It's great to see you. Yep, no detectable motion. So let's read up on it. I want to do it this way so the Globers cannot say, oh, you're just cherry picking and you're missing out, you're making stuff up. So I want to do it this way so we can literally go through it and explain why the Foucault's pendulum is nonsense, and literally just hey Nathan Oakley, good to see you, thank you for coming. It's just a fraud, as Owen says. Yep. Because it's simply just a man-made how can I put it, mechanism. It's conjured, the movement is conjured by a man-made apparatus. It's not caused by Earth's rotation, because the Earth's rotation would not even be picked up by the apparatus, I'll tell you now. Okay, so the Foucault's pendulum, which was displayed for many years in the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History, was removed in the late 1998 to make room for the Star-Spangled Banner Preservation Project, and there are no current plans to reinstall it. Do you know why that is? I mean, if it's simply so significant that they use this to prove Earth's rotation, why would they not care about it? Why would they just take it down and not even think about putting it back? It's supposed to be this brilliant flat Earth debunking thing.
Why did Einstein say what he said about detecting Earth's rotation if there was something so simple as a pendulum?
Exactly. It's because it's nonsense. Exactly, Nathan. Globe claims we have a 15-degree hours drift. Stuff moving apart as the Earth turns underneath stuff, not attached. Does not happen. Nothing is drifting away at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. Earth isn't spinning. Exactly. Like I said, here in South Africa, we got 4 places that supposedly have Foucault's pendulums, and not one of them are functioning, at least for the last decade. So it's very nonsensical for people to think that it's going to work. And I remember when Mitchell from Australia, when he went and showed the first look, it's nonsense, and then Mr. Sensible paid him to go back to do it. And then when he went there, it was not working, it was out of order. Well, don't you think it's odd that it all of a sudden was out of order after he showed it wasn't working? Funny thing is that all the Globers then moaned and said he was being dishonest. How was he being dishonest if a museum had closed it down because it was not working? That's very, very odd stuff. Hey Tandu, thank you for coming.
When Mitchell filmed that pendulum, it was swinging backwards and forwards.
Yep.
So to say that it weren't in working order,
Yeah, but that's the thing. The first time,
you know what I mean. Whatever causes it to.
How can a pendulum not be working? Do you know what I mean?
Whatever they're using that makes it show that false effect to drift weren't working. The pendulum itself was swinging backwards and forwards. So whatever they used for that pilot trick, that's the thing that were broken.
Yep, that's the thing. The magnetic oscillation movement device, you could say, was not operational, so it could not get it to move anymore. It's as simple as that. Because that's all it is. They require magnetism to keep it oscillating. It's the oscillations that give the precession. It's not, because remember, the pendulum is just a forward and backwards motion. That's all it's supposed to be.
So they've got to manipulate the actual the workings of it just to get the result they want.
Exactly. Yeah, Tony, exactly. Pendulums didn't even process. There's no such thing as processing with a pendulum. A pendulum is simply just going forwards and backwards. It's supposed to be the platform underneath, like hence the Earth, which is supposed to be rotating underneath it, which presents precession, you can say. But that's total nonsense, because it's just a parlor trick based on the mechanism, how it's built. All cranes would show this effect always. Exactly, Nathan. You would see this effect if you had a drone or a hot air balloon with a rope underneath it with a weight swinging back and forth, We don't see this. There's no way that they are taking a Foucault pendulum and it's attached to a ceiling which is attached to the foundation which is attached to Earth and claiming it to be free space from Earth. It's still attached. Hey Dupas Pones, thank you for coming. And Rachie, hello. And I think I saw Brianstein as well, or Stain, whatever his name is. Brainstein. Thank you all for coming. Well, I think before we go on to this, well, we'll go on to that now, but I really want to show something. I saved it in the Skype. These are 2 videos I did, guys. And this is me trying to show you the Eotvos effect is rubbish. Because they claim the Eotvos effect is due to the centrifugal force of Earth rotation, correct? So at the poles, a weight would weigh more than what it is at the equator, correct? So like they love to say, okay, just take a bar of gold, weigh it at the equator and just ship it down to the UK or something. You're going to make more money because then it weighs more. Because why? Earth's rotation. We've even seen videos where people like Wolfie take a scale and he sticks it on a plane and he gives a measurement, and then when he lands or flies from the other side, he puts on again and says, look, I'm at a different latitude. Now it gives a different measurement. Well, let me quickly put that to bed and just show you guys with demonstration that just moving a scale even 5 to 10 centimeters changes the outcome. It's not Earth's rotation, and I'll explain to you just right away. I'm placing it on. It gives 9.8 grams, guys. See there? Now let's move it. Move the scale. 9.9 grams. Not doing anything different.
Can I just say, it reminds me of like a dodgy butcher's, you know, with shove some scale so they charge you more.
Yeah, exactly.
Put bits of lead at the bottom of the free weights and that.
But it's a very simple. I mean, did I change latitudes now by going what, like 10 centimeters?
No. These types of scales, these sensitive scales, once they're moved, then you recalibrate it again, don't they?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you move it, it goes out of calibration. We calibrate our scales.
Level, if they're not level, you can get all kinds of wacky.
Yep. Hey, Chow Young Cat, good to see you. It's glad you can make it. Yeah, we calibrate our scales very regularly, guys. And they bring a specific 5 kilogram weight for that because it's a very sensitive scale. It picks up very, very sensitive everything.
Well, yeah, you're measuring, sometimes, I've mixed them. Sometimes you're measuring like 1 drop.
0.01, 0.01, I mean, it's like the density equals 0.1 grams. That's like a drop. Sometimes we literally have to give 2 small Harvard drops to make a drop, which is 0.1 grams. You understand?
Yeah. Because
it works on density, guys. Remember, scales like this work with what they call a load cell. So it's the pressure, not weight, guys. It's the pressure, which is forced onto the load cell, which gives your weight reading. It's not gravity pulling. It's simply density. It's causing a pressure on the load cell. But anyway, let's carry on with the video because I got 2 of them. And you see it's 9.9 grams and where it was 9.8. So let's move it back. What's it going to show now? Oh wow, back to 9.8 grams. So, did the thing change weight when we moved it back? Or was it because of Earth's rotation? Very simple. So, this is very simple to show the Eotvos effect. Totally bunk. Nonsense. And it goes back to 9.9 grams. Must be the latitude, I must say. Must be the latitude. Okay, let's go to the next video. I did a second one for a reason to show. See, 2. Just so you know, it's a different video. Place it on again. Shows 9.8. Kept moving it. And what's it going to show now? 9.8 again in the same position, but we moved it. Remember the first video? It showed a different reading. Now it's showing the same reading, correct? Now we're going to move it again. That's really odd. Okay, let's move it again. 9.7. Oh wait, didn't it just read 9.8 there? Huh. Because a scale goes out of calibration when you move it. That load cell gets a different pressure point. Yes, it seriously does debunk your Eotvos effect, because your Eotvos effect claim is that you can weigh things at different weights at different latitudes. And I'm literally doing by demonstration that just moving a scale debunks that idiotic belief.
So, like we were saying earlier, there'd be about 400 different values in gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know how difficult it is for them to have a systematic, special rate of measurement for grams and stuff. I mean, they got a whole special laboratory based for every type of different grams and kilograms and everything. That because every time you use it, a little flake or something comes off and it changes the molecular weight of it. So they very, very specifically work very delicate with those weights, because it's so sophisticated, because it changes. It's a very finicky process. And anybody that says the Eotvos effect causes you to weigh less at the poles, I mean more at the poles, is just idiotic based on this demonstration. And I'm going to move it again. See, it's weighed less than what it was in the beginning. Let's move it again. And it's weighing again 9.8. Wow. So it keeps changing. Not because of latitude, simply because the scale has different variables to contend with. I mean, I've even showed before where the scales show difference when there's temperature change. Every time there's a different change in temperature or even pressure change, your breathing changes the difference. He says that's a rubbish scale. Is it? That's a 30,000 Rand scale.
Who said that?
Brainstein. He says that's a rubbish.
The guy's never mixed pen. In order to match accurately a colour,
I'm a professional.
You have to measure exactly.
I'm a professional spray painter. That's my profession. And you're telling me that's a rubbish scale? I can literally... how do I put this? It's so accurate. I can literally stick a piece of nail on there and it will pick it up. He says it keeps giving different results like that, then something screwy. I just explained why it gives different results. Yeah, he's got a tumor. So yeah, guys, okay. So that already takes care of the Eotvos effect. I just thought I would share that. Let's get back to the Foucault's pendulum. Yeah, it's about... No, 30,000 is not $15. Let's see how much... 30 Rand in dollars.
You're dealing with people flat out who have no clue how things work in real world.
Yep. It's one.
I mean, I was a panel beater for 10 years. I've mixed paint and I've sprayed paint. And to mix paint, you literally, it's barely a little drop sometimes of one tinter.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. You just explained to him how as well that why that happened with the scales. Then he still has to say that, you know.
I mean, is $1,700? Is $1,700 scale cheap? Is that rubbish? Would you buy $1,700 scale and say it's rubbish? And that's still a cheap scale, by the way, guys.
If you drop even like a micro little grammar droplet into that colour, you'll get the wrong colour and it don't match your car, and then your customer's complaining because your paint don't match.
Remember, guys, I work with spectroscopy every day, and I use my spectrometer to actually work out what pigments are in the paint to mix my paint. And I really need accurate measurements, and the scales need to be accurate to give the correct amount of pigmentations.
No, these numbskulls don't even know that you'll use a spectrometer in matching paint.
Yep. Yeah, guys, I do spectroscopy every day. I've done my fair share of spray painting, urban style.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I laughed when Not a Professor Dave says you don't use containment for spectroscopy, which literally shows he's a moron and he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Why can you use the difference in weight? You can use the difference in weight. With 10 centimeters I moved it, and please work out my exact latitude. Go ahead, Flataholics. Work out my exact latitude from moving it 10 centimeters because it changed. And also make sure that, remember the first video and the second video, they showed different weight measurements, correct? Weird. Yes, the Earth only rotates one rotation a day on your globe, which is not very slow. What is the rim velocity, dupapoons? Would that be 1,048 miles per hour at the equator? Rim velocity. Let's put this into I wonder if I can do this here. Bugatti Veyron full speed in meters per second. What is the full speed? Okay, it's going to be 410 kilometers an hour. I think it came up to something like 120 meters per second. Do you know your globe is over 480 meters a second? That's 3 times the speed of a Bugatti, just about, at full speed. Exactly, Samantha. That's hardly noticeable. Sorry, what experiment, Flataholics? It's a demonstration. Can you please give me the hypothesis and experimentation done? It's not an experiment. You don't even know what science is. But we do expect that from someone's got an IQ of a tuna sandwich, as we like to say.
Hey, is that Flataholics?
Yeah.
Isn't it time to bring that comment up?
Oh yeah, Hobbs, good to see you. Thank you for coming. I got a comment I want to show quickly. Man. Would you be able to post it in the bottom again? Sorry, it's
why do you keep doing this to me?
Just post. I just don't want everybody to read all your.
Do you know how many comments is in Element today?
A lot. I mean, I was at work and all of a sudden I come back on, it's got 84 comments. It's like, what the hell, between 3 people?
Just me and PJ talking.
Oh wait, or we can just go on never mind, I'll just go on YouTube. It is from last night's video, so some of those
Have you got it?
I'm gonna quickly go look. Some of those comments from last night, it was hilarious. Where was his one?
I've got it if you want, mate.
Oh wow, look at this guy, Walking Man. This is one of the best last Flat Earth channels. Nobody else can get this much wrong in a single stream, and you make so much laughable content. Rip Flat Earth, may she rest in peace. Why do they comment this and not actually tell us what I got wrong? Oh wait, because there is nothing wrong. They can't prove it. Anyway, this is what we wanted to show. This was in context of me asking them, if you have your globe and you dug a hole straight through and you had to fall through, what's going to happen? Are you going to come feet first out at Australia or head first? He says, in your imaginary hole through the earth from the UK to Australia, you would stop at the center. Why would you stop at the center? I have no idea. Then JC.
If it's a molten iron core, you burn.
Yeah, but no, but this is ignoring everything. You somehow got it magically to fall through the center of your Earth. Remember, guys, they have what they call center of mass. So if you take away the center of mass, there's no gravity. So there's nothing. But anyway, ignoring all that, JC Sky says, no, you wouldn't. The resultant force on you would drop to zero, but your momentum means you would shoot past and start slowing down. So they can't even agree with each other.
No.
It's always baller v baller, isn't it? Like, there's none of them are on the same page.
Exactly. It's insane. I mean, that's the kind of stupid things we get. And then we got this. I'm still amused, me, that the whole lot of you want to deny the geometric shape known as a spherical triangle. If spherical triangles weren't used to evidence for a globe, you would even know what they were. This is Andrew Johnston, guys, the guy that showed us Earth was measured 4,000 kilometers over horizontal surface distance. And he's claiming it to be Earth. He's claiming it to be curved. What's horizontal surface distance again? For 4,000 kilometers? Yeah.
The word spherical triangle is an oxymoron. It's like,
No, of course.
It's crazy.
just because Andrew believes it, don't mean they're real.
Exactly.
They debunk each other, don't they? They stand apart in solidarity. just walking contradictions.
Okay, this is the hypothesis, guys. Change in latitude will cause the change in weight. IV, change in latitude, dV, weight. What's weight? I just literally debunked that with a demonstration of that, Alex. Remember, I moved it 10 centimeters away and it changed its weight. Did I change latitude? Answer is no. And again, weight is simply the force exerted on a scale, aka pressure.
Hold on a minute. There's something wrong with this natural phenomena here,
Yeah.
because they've got to weigh something and travel and weigh it again.
Yeah.
To have that phenomena, where do you see that in natural world?
You don't. You don't.
So there's something wrong there.
We actually see the opposite with, I think it was Sleeping Warrior that brought this up a few years ago with the Plimsoll lines, where they're supposed to be sinking deeper, they are actually higher because of the salinity of the water. Thank you, Chow Young Cat, for your donation. Really, really support it. Appreciate it. It's great to see people have a heart to help my wife's mom. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, so guys, it's very simple stuff. The Foucault's pendulum, let's do this. Foucault's pendulum. I want to show. Look at this nonsense. I think Nathan's actually got a video on when he went to go look at the Foucault's pendulum in England at some stage.
The conjurings of phenomena, aren't they? Like, they're not. You know, you look at a pendulum and it don't move.
Yeah. I mean,
same with weighing. Like, there's no phenomena until somebody decides they want to put a weighing scale on an aeroplane and fly all that place with it. So it's conjuring a phenomena. There's no natural phenomena there.
Yep. Okay, so guys, this is the roof. It's got a clips and a ring on it. Then it's got a stylus cone with a wire and a metallic sphere. You're telling me that roof is not connected to the walls, which is not connected to the foundation, which is not connected to the earth. Just because you got what you call a frictionless mechanism there, hook, it's still friction. There's always friction there, and it needs a mechanical device to move, which is usually caused by magnetism. So you're usually using magnetism to keep your movement of the pendulum, which is only moving in one direction, forwards and back. Remember, there's no such thing as precession.
If you read the story about first time the guy who came up with Foucault's pendulum, Foucault guy, was showing it to church apparently, I think, and it didn't do as they wanted it to do on first time. You know what I mean? It went just where it wanted to.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. It doesn't always do what they're trying to say it does.
And they have the same
in opposite direction.
They have the same problem with their beloved Cavendish. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. Sometimes it goes the opposite of what they want. it's literally rubbish. But they're very selective in showing, oh no, every time I do it, it only shows this way. But they don't show the 10 times it didn't do that what they wanted. Correct? Hey YouTube, thank you for coming. Gazlo, thank you for coming. And I think I saw another one. There was someone else in. Thank you all for being here. Hobbs, thank you. Yeah, guys, a pendulum does not precess. Full stop. That's not what pendulums are created to do. So when someone claims the pendulum precesses, they simply deny that it's a pendulum then. So the plan of the pendulum oscillation is fixed compared to the Earth, but it's still fixed on the Earth, hence it's stuck to the roof of the building. The apparent movement of the pendulum occurs in the direction of the needles of the watch in the northern hemisphere and the contrary direction in the southern hemisphere. That's what they say, yeah? Because of what? It's a mechanism that makes it move. The movement is apparent because the pendulum doesn't rotate, but the Earth does.
Ooh, there's that word again that ballers don't seem to understand.
Apparent.
Apparent.
So guys, do we see the ball hit over the cones by twisting in latitude, or is it the ground that's moving to cause that? The pendulum is not related to the terrestrial reference frame because the point of anchorage is specific. The period of pendulum is independent of the mass of the sphere. Hey Lumpy Gas, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Anyone who thinks the focal pendulum proves Earth movement when they need to fake the movement are out of their minds, period. I 100% agree. Because it does not show Earth rotation. It just shows gullible people watching a magnetic oscillation. That's all. You guys do understand how magnetic poles work, correct? Do they have a north and a south pole? And they have toroidal fields. So when you're using that oscillation mechanism based on magnetism, the thing is going to oscillate through the toroidal field, which aka would let it go left or right. And it's based on a ring where it's sitting, and the ring's position, how it sits, causes its movement left or right. It's simple, basic mechanics. You can debunk this in your living room by building this.
Silly little party tricks debunk silly minds.
Exactly. Very simple stuff. Okay, so that's Foucault's pendulum wrong. Which one? And Eotvos effect wrong. So which one should we go on to next?
What's left?
Globis, do you have any other claims you want to us to debunk for you quickly? Yep, pendulums are just plumb bobs, and then they just swing them. Swinging plumb bobs.
As I say, are you opening Discord later? Because I think Lotion wants to come in.
Okay, let me open Discord live stream.
Yeah, I think Lotion wants to say something.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, if you guys want to come into Discord, you're more than happy. If any Glober wants to come present anything, you're more than happy to come. Hey Lotion, how's it going, mate?
Yo, how you guys doing today?
Great, and yourself?
Good, man.
I'm good. Keep trying. The last couple of days I've been trying to maybe come in and say a few things, but God, just the struggle for money out here, man.
Yep. But it's good to see you. Glad you could make it.
Thanks. I did want to just say one thing. Me and Khan were talking about this before. The energy that moves across the Earth, right? And it, like if anybody's familiar with the Fibonacci spiral, like they have it planes and what. Well, think with my math, it seems that a propeller needs to spin at least 1,000 miles per hour in order to create that levitation that airplanes do. And what I think is happening, because the Earth, how it's set up, you got the toroidal field coming out of the middle, and it goes and recycles, right? Well, they talk about the jet stream, and they talk about, and everybody else knows that the sun moves and the stars move, right? And stars and the sun are energy. So if that energy is moving, and what we know as wind is moving, what I think might be happening is that they're mistaking the Fibonacci spiral of energy moving towards the center of the toroidal field of the Earth, towards the magnetic north, as spin. Like they're saying, oh, well, we're spinning, so we're detecting friction. But energy is moving constantly.
Yep.
And I think they're mistaking that for spin. The other thing
the thing is they don't understand they don't understand what force is. Hence their gravity argument.
Right. The other thing I was thinking about is if there was some of rotation, because anywhere on land you can dig, and then you reach sea level, right?
Yeah.
So it seems I had this just thought, well, what if we are all, like all the continents, are actually floating on water, okay? And each continent has magnetic fields based on the metals that are within the land masses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you watch a movie and they reach, like say they get to magnetic north and they pull out their compass and the compass spins, right? Because it's right on magnetic north.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if that was actually happening with the continents being, the energy of the Fibonacci spiral, or the energy moving across the Earth, is actually causing that rotation of the land masses on the water. But then it goes back to, well,
so you're saying that
we're stationary and the energy moves around us.
So you're saying the drifting could just be the continents drifting over the water.
Right, because of because if you dig down, you hit water.
Yeah, because the land,
but
even on the Bible cosmology, it's still water's below.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So then technically we are all floating on water.
Could be.
Unless there are the pillars that is, the God's pillars that are keeping certain land masses together. Or stationary.
Yeah. Hey, Nathan Oakley.
But what?
No, wait, this isn't the same Nathan Oakley, is it? No, this is Nathan Oakley. It's he's what's good to see you, Nathan. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Hoping to go over Coriolis effect.
Oh, that'd be great. I was waiting for that to happen.
Can't interrupt whatever you're doing though, so just give me a cue whenever you're ready. I'll mute who you are.
Awesome. Yeah, Lotion, finish your thoughts and then we can go to Coriolis.
Yeah, so what I think is happening is that some scientists, in quote, are mistaking the energy moving across the Earth as rotation. But there's just that question that I have, if we're all floating on water and we're all kind of around magnetic north, would we have the same effect that I've never been to the North Pole and don't have a compass, so I don't know if that even spins when you're at north,
Yeah. Yeah, obviously.
But if we were all floating on water and the energy is moving above us, then it like a merry-go-round, and Happy Gilmore goes up and down and around.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that where they take it's almost like, because a positive and a negative cell, and they charge it and it moves the water around. I think that's more like what you're getting to. It's like a charged cell.
Right, and yeah, and I think obviously the water moves. You get when massive amounts of energy go across the water, that's what produces swells. That's what produces waves. It's not because the Earth is spinning. It's the energy moving across the water that causes the waves.
Mm-hmm.
Or energy underneath the water.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
That was awesome. It's always, that's what I said. It's always good to have someone's own interpretation of things and ideas and everything.
The four winds. You know, wind creates waves. Four winds could also be a magnetic wind.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Nathan wants to talk about Coriolis. His favorite subject.
Yeah. Far from it. I hate it by the subject actually because of the amount of confusion that's surrounding it. First, I'm going to preface this by saying what I'm going to give you is an explanation of Coriolis effect. So if you want an explanation on Globiolus effect or any other bastardization of this effect, maybe speak to Brian's logic, likes to decipher what globe heads have turned the effect into. What I'm going to focus on is what is Coriolis effect. I've posted in your chat a little diagram. I don't know if you can bring that up for us.
Is it in the live stream commentary?
I don't know, wherever the first chat comes in on this Discord server.
General. Nope, not general. On the disc, yeah, I don't know. I've got a whole bunch.
What about live stream chat? Is it in live stream?
I am in live stream, it's not there. Oh, and Nathan has dropped. Okay. Oh, there we go, in the normal show chat. Is it think it's here? No, it's not.
I think so. Is it 2 discs? You've got them?
No, it's not here. There's a live stream chat, and then I've got a live stream commentary. You can stick it in live stream commentary. It should pop up there. But yeah, anyway, you're correct. There's a big difference between Globiolus and Coriolis. I really like how Brian explains the Globiolus.
So I'll stick that in.
It's like a disease, isn't it? Globiolus.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, okay. It's popped up. Ah, yes, I
It
remember
is
this.
It's a disease of the mind.
Of course it is. Of course it is, man. It's a mind control disease. I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm going to open up in browser so everybody can see it. Okay.
Okay. So Coriolis effect requires 2 reference frames. And the most important detail about the effect, where it is observable from. Coriolis effect is only observable from turning reference frame. If you have a turning reference frame, you are on a turning reference frame, then objects that are not rotating with you will appear to drift. It's that simple, and I'm going to repeat it. If you are on a turning reference frame, that is a roundabout. You, the observer, observe things that are not turning with you, appearing to drift where they do not. Okay, now I'm going to give an example. If you have a roundabout with a lamp post or tree branch dangling over the top of it, as you turn, you look up at the tree branch, and the tree branch is to move because you are turning beneath it. And that is the drift in question. It's exampled on National Geographic. They'll have an observer on a roundabout and maybe 2 other participants either side of the roundabout not rotating, tossing a ball over the top of it. And that scenario, the Coriolis effect, is the effect observed. You, the observer, rotate beneath the ball. And the drift, that would be the Coriolis effect, drift, the not actual drift observed on the roundabout. Once more, drift, that is Coriolis effect, is the drift observed as you, the observer, rotate beneath things that are not attached to your rotating reference frame. Ergo, it has absolutely nothing to do with where planes will end up as they traverse a globe north-south or south-north or east-west. It has nothing to do with direction of the projectile. It has nothing to do with the projectile. It is only not actual drift observed in items not attached, you, as you rotate beneath things. That's it.
That's it, yeah. It's an optical effect. It's as simple as
It's
that.
got it's optical effect. What's right on
It's an optical illusion. What you're observing from the roundabout is the tree coming towards you and going away. Coming towards you, going away. Coming towards you, going away.
Yeah.
Is the tree actually moving?
No.
No, it is not. It's the apparent movement of the tree branch as you turn underneath it.
Exactly. But I don't know why.
But I have a question. So if I get in a helicopter and I go up a little bit, maybe 1,000 feet, I stay right there. How come the Earth doesn't move beneath me?
Because the Earth's not spinning.
That's not moving beneath you.
That's why.
Flatzo,
Or are
remember
you saying-
Brenda when I
I
asked
thought you said
Brenda
it's
this
rotating.
question?
No? Coriolis effect has got nothing to do with the ground beneath your feet, unless the ground beneath your feet is rotating. If
Well, then what? Okay,
Round.
that was a bad question. What is a roundabout in your world? What is a roundabout? You talking like
merry-go-round, carousel,
Okay.
merry-go-round.
And Nathan, would you be able to maybe make your mic a bit louder? I've got you at like 200% here. They're saying you're a bit on the quiet side.
Okay.
Thanks.
You can turn me up in Discord, Dave.
Yeah, I've
You've
turned
done
you
that
up.
already?
Yeah, I've pulled you up to 200%.
Okay, turn me down again.
We all know a merry-go-round
Yeah, there we
moves
go.
once you put it in motion. Otherwise, it's not going to move. You have to put the merry-go-round in motion in order to show your claim, right?
I'm not claiming anything. I'm detailing what the effect
Well,
is.
not claim. Sorry, I don't mean claim. Just example. Sorry.
The example is just you on a rotating frame of reference. So the effect requires two reference frames. One is rotating, one isn't. You're on the rotating frame of reference, and what you're observing isn't.
But in order to do that, you need to put the merry-go-round in motion.
Oh, that's
Otherwise,
the effect
it's
you've got to
still.
Of a rotating frame of reference to have this effect. And you've got to be on it observing things that aren't. Yes.
But you have to move the merry-go-round. Otherwise, it's moot. You can't
Otherwise
just
you won't
stand
have
on.
the
You
effect.
can't just stand on a merry-go-round and then explain the effect. You have to do something in order to show.
Got to be rotating. That's the point. So if we were
But
rotating
you
on
have
Earth,
to
we'd have
put
the
it.
effect.
You have to make it rotate. Otherwise, it's just still. You can't do
Yeah.
that with just a still merry-go-round.
I understood your point the first time. The fifth time,
Okay.
I understand it still, and it doesn't make any difference to have this effect. You're going to be rotating. If you're saying, well, if you're not rotating, you won't have the effect. Absolutely correct. That's how we prove we're not spinning. We don't have Coriolis effect.
Yep. Simple as that.
Oh, so you know it's not spinning then.
Yes.
You know it's not rotating.
Yes.
I'm not referencing this to Earth. I just want to make that clear. Right, let's just get that clear. Coriolis effect is not an effect related to Earth. It may have been hijacked and claimed to be an effect we observe on Earth as we turn underneath the stars. The effect being the stars drifting not because they're moving, but because we are claimed to move underneath them. Is us on a turning reference frame claimed to be observing the not actual drift of stars as we turn underneath them. That's their claim. And by having that claim, that means we are nearly there. On a rotating reference frame. And the effects we would observe as a consequence of that being induced from anything that wasn't attached to the rotating reference frame. Claim the effect is induced by the pendulum, i.e. the pendulum is in the inertial reference frame and you are attached watching it on the non-inertial turning reference frame. The pendulum only fulfills its primary function, that is to say it only moves back and forth. Pendulums don't drift. Their inherent property is that they don't do that.
Correct.
Only
Correct.
go back and forth. Claim is that as you observe it seem to drift, i.e. knock over the dominoes, it's not the pendulum that's drifting, it's you claimed to be rotating underneath the pendulum as it swings back and forth, and you see it knocking over the dominoes because you're on a turning platform underneath it. It was true. You've got two reference frames, and everything, not just pendulums and the stars, but drones, helicopters, aeroplanes, you, if you jump up and down, you'd have Earth turned underneath you at 1,000 miles an hour on the equator if we have this effect. So that the guy standing still on rotating claim to be spinning Earth watches you, as you jump up and down, seem drift away at 1,000 miles an hour. Not because you're Superman and you can fly at 1,000 miles an hour, but because it's claimed that you, on the turning Earth, will see the not actual drift of your friend as he jumps up and down. It doesn't happen. We don't have this effect.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Exactly. Just quickly listen here for like 2 seconds.
Have I ever been able to prove it out of shooting? No, I've not.
Stop.
This was a long-range shooter, guys. He literally shoots long range. He says he cannot provide any evidence or data for his Coriolis effect, but he believes it does exist. And that's practically how the globe works, because there is no data to show that there is Coriolis effect. There's no observation for it, but they need to believe it. No rotation, no Coriolis effect. It's simple as that. Because we don't see
like,
Coriolis effect, that means there's no rotation.
Like Nathan says, it's been bastardized into Globiolis, where they'll tell you that that's the reason why hurricanes rotate one way or another.
Exactly.
So yeah, Nathan, one thing I do admire about you, really, you repetition this so much times that you explain it very well. Very easy for someone to understand.
Only because of YouTube. I'm just going to blame YouTube in the chat because he's telling me about what planes would and wouldn't do. Like, yes, as long as you've already drawn the conclusion, Coriolis is an effect of us seeing things drift, you can establish that from the ground on a turning Earth, things that aren't on it will drift. That's the claim in its base form. That doesn't happen. We have anti-flat earthers telling us why we wouldn't see the effect. The reason I've joined in this instance is because you've got the pendulum on the screen. The pendulum's great. Why? Because it solidifies their actual claim. What's the pendulum claim to be doing? Drifting at 15 degrees an hour. Why? Well, because Earth's turning underneath it. It's in its own reference frame, separate from the Earth. It's a special gimbal, or whatever they say it's on, a pin that's going to detach it from any of the Earth's reference frame. So that as it swings back and forth, you can experience the Earth turning beneath it. Okay? So Earth's turning beneath it then. Bottom line. Because that's the actual claim of Globiolis.
Exactly.
Coriolis. As opposed to Globiolis.
But that's
because
what
people get caught up in justifying what the projectile will do. The globe claim intact while they deny it. So they're saying there is Coriolis effect. That's the claim.
Yeah, but that's why I laugh at the people when they bring up things like hurricanes. As soon as they say hurricanes, then you know they don't understand what Coriolis effect means.
Precisely. The turning reference frame in Coriolis could only be adhered to if you were in the hurricane. Then you're in a turning reference frame. You're spinning around like Dorothy. If you're spinning around like Dorothy, little house on the hill comes towards you and goes away, comes towards you and goes away. The one that's cemented into the ground, I mean, not the one that's flying, probably not a good example. But a house that's cemented into the ground, if you're in a hurricane, can say, oh look, that house is coming towards me, oh it's going away. Oh, it's coming towards me again, oh it's going away. Because you're in a hurricane. Well, that's Coriolis effect. It's not really moving at all in that example.
Exactly.
I know everybody's buggered off to Discord. I might as well get over there as well.
Yeah, you might as well. Okay, what is it? I got another thing that the other was to try and explain it.
A magic paper airplane that could travel hundreds of miles. If you threw your airplane directly northward, you might think it would land straight north. Paper airplane in a straight line toward the north. It would land somewhere to the right of Nebraska.
You see, because it gives the appearance that it changes, not because the plane is moving right, it's because the Earth with you underneath it is moving underneath it.
A bad example, because in that example, I've heard that a few times.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's their claim. That's their
telling the
claim.
projectile.
Yeah, but that's their claim. That's what I'm trying to say. That's their way of trying to dumb the people down, because they're taking what they call the Coriolis force, you could say, and trying to equivocate. Oh, hurricanes spin this direction and that direction. Instead of explaining to them exactly what the Coriolis effect is, they literally try and do what you say, like a magic show, by playing words on them and saying, but this is what you would expect to see, but it's physical according to them. You see, they take that optical and call it physical, but then they say it's so large you wouldn't actually see the optical effects.
I see what you're saying. What you're saying is, when I describe the ball appearing to curve is the Coriolis force. It's the force makes the ball seem to curve. The ball's actually travelling straight. There's two people in the scenario, either side of a roundabout, merry-go-round, whatever you want to call it. You spinning around if you just want to stand on the spot and spin. But as the ball is tossed over you, it's moving straight.
Exactly.
You see it seem to curve, but that's the force. Well, they then turn that force into a force that's changing the trajectory of aeroplanes in some way.
Mm-hmm.
No. Managed to hoodwink you because you don't know what the Coriolis effect is. And no offence to your audience, but it seems like 90% of the chat don't know what Coriolis effect is, because they're all talking about what projectiles do on a globe.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the whole thing. What the globies do to the people, they make them concentrate on the projectile instead of what the effect is.
Exactly. Once you can establish, because you understand it, what the globe is actually claiming when they say the globe has Coriolis effect, it's solidified in the pendulum or the gyroscope. They describe the 15 degrees an hour drift as Earth turns underneath it. That is the claim. The only way you can experience Coriolis effect is if you are part of, standing on, watching from a turning reference frame. In the case of the pendulum example, you're on the turning Earth, watching it seem to drift because you're turning beneath it. Okay, so once you've got to that stage, go, okay, so the claim is Earth turns underneath as a second reference frame. Right, great. So we understand that Earth's turning underneath aeroplanes and helicopters and hot air balloons then, because it isn't.
Yeah, Nathan, can you do that analogy where you talk about somebody on ground radio, a pilot, and saying, oh, we're seeing you apparently drift, can you please make a correction?
That was me insulting Wolfie, because Wolfie doesn't understand Coriolis either. So what he had asserted was that he had corrected for the drift in his plane. But you can't correct for Coriolis effect, full stop, because it's a, number one, not actual effect, number two, only observable from a turning reference frame. So my example was a guy on the radio who's radioing into the aeroplane saying, ground control to Major Wolfie 6020 idiot. There's a guy observing you from a roundabout. Can you correct your trajectory as he sees you seeming to drift? No, you don't correct for Coriolis effect in aeroplanes, you complete numpty. It doesn't matter what someone's seeing you do from the ground rotating, but the effect is not actual. Coriolis effect is a sight gag, an illusion of things seeming to drift as you watch them turning beneath them. So you've got to establish with your opponent that the effect only takes place if you're turning beneath stuff, and you've got to be on it watching the thing drift. To have the effect in the first place, you've got to be watching stuff drift as you turn beneath it. That don't happen. That's the end of the argument. Nothing's drifting.
Chocolate Sensei is flat-weight. Ask Nathan what Kosho said about hurricanes when asked why they appear to rotate from the inertial reference frame. That was epic.
Okay, so where he got pushed into, he's pushed into a corner because by the time I've got him to accept what Coriolis effect is, which is to say that it's an effect observed that doesn't induce any actual rotation. You're rotating. And as a result of you rotating, you see a not actual curved path of things. Now, with the acceptance of the actual Coriolis effect and the declaration that winds have something to do with it, the only logical connection that Kosho can be forced into is that the effect on the wind is not actual. Therefore, according to him, the wind is travelling straight and we're seeing it just seem to drift. Hurricanes and tornadoes actually move in a straight line according to Globe Believer when he's forced into an appreciation of what Coriolis actually is. Illusion. Turn. Well, no, hurricanes and cyclones are actually turning. Like the effect you're claiming. If you say we're seeing it seem to turn, then that would lead your globe-head idiot to say that the wind's actually moving straight.
Exactly. That's why I say that's what the globies do. They try and take you off what it means to see it's just an effect, and they get back in the corner to try and push you to an actual deviation. And that's why he got caught in that situation, because he knew that it can't be physically turning, but hurricanes do physically turn.
If we are, then drones would drift away from you at 1,000 miles an hour on the equator. If the pendulum's got Earth turning underneath it, then Earth's turning underneath stuff. Your drone whizzes away, 1,000 miles an hour.
Yep.
It's not happened.
And that's why I hated that thing when I had that balloon that was floating in midair, watching the sun go and set behind, because it was in its own reference frame. The whole house was supposed to be moving underneath it. What was their claim? Oh no, the atmosphere moves with it. So then no Coriolis then.
Exactly. If you can say to them, so we haven't got two reference frames. The Globe claim of Coriolis debunked, it requires two. If it's all moving as one reference frame, number one, I don't accept your notion of begging the question that it's all moving, full stop.
Yeah.
However, if we're going to accept this notion of Coriolis effect as claimed by the Globe, then you're going to need two reference frames.
Yeah, exactly. And we all know Simon Dan said you and your reference frames are ruined, so they already know they don't have reference frame to have their Coriolis effect.
Exactly. Well, that's the point I probably duck out on, because that's where I can round out on perfectly. Thank you for the segue. So with Simon Dan, the fact we do not see drift leads numpties like Simon Dan to declare that my claim that we've got two reference frames are ruined. No, I'm not claiming we'll see drift. But again, because Simon Dan in this instance doesn't actually understand what Coriolis effect is, that's you turning beneath things, seeing them seem to curve when they actually aren't. Well, that effect claimed by the Globe, detailed by me precisely and accurately many times, was assumed by Dan to be my claim. Because we don't actually see it. So cognitively, he knows we don't have this effect. He knows he doesn't experience drift ever. Starts assuming that it's my claim and telling me how it's debunked. Why? Well, because we don't see the effect. The one the Globe claims. Okay, that's it. I'm going to out.
But thank you very much, Nathan, for coming to explain it. Really do enjoy the way you explain it.
Thanks for having me.
Always, anytime.
Bless, man.
So, can you remember when we were talking to Brenda the other week and I said, well, when somebody throws a ball above a roundabout, is that in a separate reference frame? And she's like, yeah. I said, so when an helicopter takes off from ground and it hovers, it's in a separate reference frame? And she was like, no.
Powered flight. Yeah,
this can't get it.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have watched that that Veritasium video. But before I say that, I say thank you, Faciality, for your $5 super chat. Really, really appreciate it. All the support is really much appreciated. If I stand still on the ground, doesn't that mean that the Earth is also standing still? If the Earth is always moving, then you could never stand still. Actually, yeah, it's an it's a paradox, because you would not be able to stand still if you're always moving on a moving reference frame, because you are moving relative to the ground. Which is really true. Thank you very much for your $5 super chat, Faciality. I appreciate it muchly.
It's a good thing to highlight this Globiolis, because with Globiolis, like your hurricanes, they're actually moving, physically moving in a rotation.
Yep.
But Globiolis is an optical illusion. It's not actually rotating, and that's the difference. And And what they've done is they've twisted real Coriolis into a fake Coriolis.
And that's what I was, yeah, and that's what I was trying to get with Veritasium's video, where he takes that pool and he lets it drain, and he says, you see, it's now spinning. He's in the south and he's making it spin anti-clockwise or whatever, and then he's got the guy from Smart Every Day, Dustin, doing it. They did like 3 years later or 3 months later, or whatever they did, and it spun the other way. But you can literally see their piping that they used is 2 different ways. You can literally make it cause to rotate that certain way, and they're claiming that to be Coriolis. That's an actual effect they're having there with the water spinning down in the pipe or in the whatever they used as draining. It's not Coriolis effect. But that's what I was trying to explain to Nathan. That's the hoodwink they do. They take physical things and they say it's Coriolis effect. So they're dumbing down the people by giving them a show, but it's not Coriolis effect. So the people go ahead and think, oh no, it is Coriolis effect because this is what the people showed me, but it's not.
It was kind of hard to decipher what side of Coriolis effect he was on. That's all I was having an issue with.
Okay, guys, I don't know if you guys watched Kiwi's drone demonstration. Lumpy, I don't know where it is though, because it's been a while back. If anybody knows where the drone demonstration that Kiwi had, it would be great. Then we can actually show that, because that perfectly also debunks the Coriolis effect. If we can explain it simply, he took a drone up and it's hovering separate to the rotation of Earth, to Earth. So the Earth's supposed to rotate underneath it. And he's busy observing the stars. So in other words, the stars should not be moving, because he should be in the same reference frame as the stars now.
Yeah, exactly.
And the stars are still moving while the ground is standing still and is not attached to the ground anymore. That was epic. Oh man, that's why you get these nonsense guys that say, oh, but it's controlled flight. Rubbish. There's no such thing as controlled flight. Not when it comes to Coriolis. There's no such thing as controlled flight.
It's like back to Brenda then. So you're claiming that something that's got an engine in it negates a reference frame.
Yep, and Price of Adam's correct. It's good to see you, Price of Adam. He says the effect is visual illusion. Yep. You'd see it rotating body whether you want to see it or not. Correct. Because it's always apparent. And we never see it, so therefore it cannot be claimed. Very simple stuff.
It seems as if most of the things that they're trying to, that I guess people in charge are trying to claim, are a bunch of optical illusions.
Yeah, I just want to say, Brainston, I'm not saying there's no such thing as controlled flight. You have planes and stuff. I'm saying when it comes to Coriolis effect, there's no such thing as controlled flight. Because then you're claiming conservation of momentum, which means it's not Coriolis effect. That is where Brian comes in with his globiolis. This is one thing I also like asking, which conservation of momentum are you guys claiming? Is it linear or angular? I don't think the globies know the difference. So yeah, that was it. It's actually not very simple stuff. Bryanstein, don't you want to come in Discord and actually discuss this with us if you say it's not simple? Because it's very simple for us. I mean, Coriolis is a very simple thing to understand. Oh, he'll send me the link. Awesome. Thanks, Choc.
There's ample videos. You can even watch MIT demonstrating it, and they all claim that it's an optical effect.
Yeah.
I don't know what's hard not to get about it, to be honest.
Okay. Are you sending it straight to me, or is it gonna put it in Master B or something? I can probably go out of Element. So yeah, it's very simple. I mean, just because they don't understand how Coriolis works doesn't mean it's not a simple thing to understand. It just means they're idiots. Oh, there we go. Accept. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. There we go, guys. Is there sound on here? I don't think so. But anyway, you see the drone is high in the sky. It's not attached to the ground. What's happening here? Is the moon moving? Oh, wow. And the stars are moving, and you got planes and stuff flying around. But the ground's not moving. That debunks the claim of Coriolis effect on the globe, because he would be moving, he would be watching the sun, the moon and the stars standing still, because he would be in their same reference frame, and the earth would be rotating. That's not happening. Conservation of momentum. Planes taking off backwards. Yeah. That is actually one of the byproducts of the rotating Earth. Not because of Coriolis, but because if it was spinning in a certain direction at a certain amount of miles per hour, you would either be going with the rotation or against the rotation, hence planes flying backwards. Moxie, what the? No, you went full retard. You should never go full retard. Yeah, the projection is very noted. Thank you, Moxie.
I asked somebody the other day, how come it takes the same amount of time to get from Detroit to California as it does from California to Detroit?
Uh-huh. But you see, that's the thing. They ignore things like crosswinds. I mean, we got the crosswinds moving all the time around, the jet streams. And the planes love to take those jet streams because they save on fuel and on time. And most of the time, they can have a faster flight time going opposite to what they're supposed to be getting. The flight times that shortened because of Earth rotation.
I'm pretty sure the jets fly through the jet stream because they're using the Fibonacci spiral.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Of the
it's saving fuel.
Of the energy.
Yeah, it's saving fuel and it's helping it to move faster. Hey, Miss Sneaky, thank you for coming in. The drone is moving with the air, which is moving with the Earth. So therefore, no Coriolis effect. Flataholics, thank you. And since when does air move uniform? There's no such thing as Velcro air.
It doesn't matter what they claim. This argument kills them on all levels.
Yeah.
They can claim it's moving with Earth, kills their claim on Coriolis.
I wonder if we can do something.
Doesn't matter what.
Okay, there we go. Optical effect, guys. And that's what Nathan was trying to explain with the light, with the tree, or the light pole, if you are on a roundabout. The tree is not physically coming towards you. It's you moving towards the tree as it seems like the tree is moving. Because of reference frames. Very simple stuff.
Plus, if the guy that threw the ball knows that he didn't curve the ball in the air.
Yeah. It's simple stuff. But yet the people don't understand it. Yeah, even the Coriolis effect is a visual effect. You freaking need the globe, but you'll never ever have. So, Moxie, this is the question we have for you. Now that you know that the Coriolis effect is the apparent illusion that things take a curved path separate to Earth, do we ever see this?
No.
No. So what's logical deduction on that?
You can't see it because Earth's not rotating. This claim is a flat Earth proof. It's not a globe proof.
McSneaky says, if that were a plane, it would have missed the target destination. Yeah, this is why we were saying Nathan had to talk about Wolfie and accounting for the Coriolis effect, because he claimed he takes account in Coriolis effect. No, you do not, because the Coriolis effect is simply an observed effect from someone on the non-inertial reference frame, aka the moving ground, watching, now in this case the plane, in the inertial reference frame, only appearing to deviate, not physically appearing. He says, Moxie says, I don't care. I just look at pictures from space and it's a ball. Nothing else matters to me. Yeah, die hard for the cult ball. And that's, it doesn't matter.
My question is why they want it to be a ball so bad.
I'll tell you why, Lucian, because the space dweebs and they love the idea of being able to travel in space.
I can tell you, it's because they believe they are Homo sapiens.
Yeah.
You know, we come from.
Because of science fiction. They want science fiction so much to be real, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, Flat Earth and Coffee, good to see you. Thank you for coming, mate. Yeah, it's simple. I mean, I was listening again. I can't believe it. I was listening to a debate again today. It's an old one on evolution versus creationism. And the creationists simply denies evolution but accepts short-term evolution. How the flippin' hell do you do that? So he's taking natural selection and mutation and saying evolution is just wrong because it's billions of years. What nonsense is that?
So it just happened quicker.
That's what he believes. I was biting my tongue the whole time listening to them. I'm like, but you're saying the same thing as the guy. The only thing you disagree with is the time span.
And he's a creationist.
And he's a creationist. He believes
ridiculous.
He believes Noah had dinosaurs on the ark as well. Yeah. What does that tell you?
Yeah. Silly man.
Oh man. But that's the funny thing. People have different opinions on how things work and viewpoints, which makes life interesting. It would be very boring if everybody had the same opinion and beliefs. So.
Well, yeah.
Frogs, nothing evolves. Things adapt and mutate. There's no such thing as evolution, Duper.
Adaptation, maybe, not evolution. But
exactly.
Adaptation. Adapt to your environment.
Yeah, adaptation.
Exactly.
Yeah, but not evolution.
There's mutation.
Like cats every year.
Yeah, there's
When it
mutation.
gets cold, they start getting more fur. When it gets warm, they start shedding a bunch.
Yeah, it's mutation due to adaptation. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no evolution. And
our adaptation is when we go somewhere warm, we take off our clothes. When we go somewhere cold, we put on clothes.
That's as simple as that.
That's it.
Yeah, selective breeding isn't evolution. Exactly, Iron Horse. Fake Flip, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Glad you could make it. And Debatable D's also, yeah. So No Globey wants to come and present the globe evidence of spinning testicleness in space. Come present your testicle. Come on. We want you to guys present your spinning testy. We've still got 15 minutes before the stream ends, so come on. How is creationism bonkers, Moxie?
It's more like a ruptured testy, isn't it? It's a complete spheroid. It's more of a ruptured testy.
So Moxie says creationism is bonkers. Okay, let's do it this way. You have what they call the ontological primitives. Now, you start off with the heliocentric part. They believed everything came from nothing. It was a very dense of nothing in nothing that all of a sudden just created its own energy and burst into everything inside nothing. That's a violation of the first law of thermodynamics, by the way, because you cannot create or destroy energy. You can only transfer or I can't think of the other word, but anyway, you can't create energy. So you can what's the other word? Transfer. It's going to irritate me now.
Transfer.
No, the other one.
And Brenda's just come in.
You can change it. What's the word? Change. What's another word for change it? Transform. Transform or transform. There we go. That's the other word. Now, with creationism, you have God that is supernatural. He's above natural law. So he can create himself, in other words. You understand? And then he created everything. So it's the same as going to a beach and you see a sandcastle. Did someone create that sandcastle or did it create itself?
Exactly.
What's the more logical
So,
solution to that?
evolution says that life comes from death. Do you know what I mean? Creation is death. Do you know what I mean? Life comes from life. Do you know what I mean?
Yep,
Life to death.
exactly. Hi, Brenda. Thank you for coming. I guess not.
Okay, just listening then.
No, I just,
Oh, there we go.
I'm not always ready at that time. I have evidence for Earth's rotation. That's the topic of your show,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Do you have evidence? That'd be great. What's your evidence?
Yes. Foucault's pendulum.
We're literally just debunked it the whole show. Were you not here?
You didn't debunk it. You didn't debunk it.
Okay, tell us how we didn't debunk it, please.
Oh, I haven't been watching. But,
Oh, then how do you know we
I
didn't debunk it then?
Because you can't. Because you didn't.
Yes, we can. And we
No,
explained
you
how.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
You literally just made a claim we didn't debunk it by claiming you
Correct.
didn't watch the stream.
No, I can know that you didn't debunk it because it's not possible for you to debunk it.
It debunks itself, Brenda. We explained the whole stream already.
But you don't understand it at all. You don't understand it.
Wow. Okay, please tell me what I don't understand.
But
Help us understand.
Yeah.
Brenda.
Come.
yeah, the pendulum is moving freely, right, in its arc when it swings.
False.
And because it,
False. There's no arc.
I'm sorry, what?
False. There's no arc. A pendulum only moves
Yes,
in
sir.
one direction linearly, straight, forward and back. That's it.
No, it's attached to a string. It's an arc.
Yeah, but it's not arced as you would say with rotation, correct?
It moves back and forth, suspended from a single point.
Which is
That's an
attached.
arc.
Which is attached to Earth, correct?
So what? It's swinging freely.
Attached to Earth.
Yes, but it's swinging freely.
Attached to Earth.
I understand that you don't understand what swinging freely
Attached
means.
to Earth.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't
It's
matter.
No,
Not-
it does. That's one of the most important parts of it.
No, it's not, because it's swinging freely in that
Attached
plane.
to Earth.
So it's
In
just floating
the plane of
magically.
its arc. In the plane created by its arc, it's swinging freely, and due to the conservation of momentum,
Oh, then it's not Coriolis then.
that's what Coriolis is the conservation of momentum.
No, it's not. Thank you for showing you don't
Yes,
have a
it
cooking
is.
clue.
It's literally how it's defined.
It's not. It's an optical
Yes, it is.
effect.
It's due. The Coriolis effect is caused by the conservation of momentum.
False. It's
No,
called.
that's just. You're
It's
just not
called-
getting the physics right.
Okay, quickly explain what the Coriolis effect is for us, quickly, please.
Coriolis is caused by the conservation of momentum when you have a inertial frame and a non-inertial frame, right? The inertial frame travels across the non-inertial frame, and due to the conservation of momentum, it will appear to deviate.
How are you having two reference frames if it's attached to Earth on the same reference frame?
Because right, very good. It's because it's swinging freely.
On the same reference frame,
It's not in the same reference frame.
it's
swinging
attached
freely.
to the same reference frame.
Yes, but it's swinging freely.
On the same reference frame,
It's not on the same reference frame because it's swinging freely, Flatside.
is it not attached to the Earth now?
See, Flatside, I'm trying to help you to
And-
get top left.
Again,
Right.
the
So-
Foucault's pendulum is attached to the Earth, aka
Yes.
the rotational reference frame, Brenda.
But at the pivot point where it's attached, it's allowed to swing freely.
With the magnetized oscillation, Brenda.
No, it's not, doesn't have to be magnetized. There's no
Is there
requirement that it be
friction?
magnetized.
Is there friction in that pivot?
I'm sorry, what? What'd you say?
Is there friction in that pivot?
Yes, a little bit.
Great, so not free spinning, not free movement then?
No, it definitely is freely moving, yes.
You just said friction, that goes against free
Yes.
moving. The only one showing top left here is
no, it
yourself.
doesn't. Does a wheel with wheel bearings rotate freely?
No, it has friction.
Well, I think that a wheel with wheel bearings rotates freely.
Well, you think a shoe is a phenomena, so just because you ignore friction doesn't make it move freely.
Shoes are part of the
Bearings
phenomenal experience
just
of the world.
try to
Sorry, Lotion?
bearings just try to lower the friction.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
But there's
it's
still friction. There's still friction.
Yes, there's still some. Yes.
Oh, there is.
so
And what about the friction of the air that puts itself on the tire when it spins?
Yes, there's friction from the air too. You're right.
So it's not freely spinning.
Yes, it is freely spinning. Yes.
You said it had friction.
Yeah. We don't have to. We can discount those because those things are very small.
Oh, so you just ignore it because that oscillation
Yes.
because on friction
Because-
causes the precession, Brenda?
It's like with those little spinners that was the gadget spinners, right? Did they spin freely?
No, they have friction.
Yes,
That's
they
why they
do.
stop spinning. Do they spin
But they-
indefinitely, Brenda?
I'm sorry, what?
Do they spin indefinitely, Brenda?
No.
Great. So does your pendulum
Right.
so does your pendulum swing indefinitely, Brenda?
No, it does not swing indefinitely.
Great. Do you
Nevertheless,
understand? Do you
we
understand
think-
your issue?
We are allowed to say they swing freely, even though friction is not zero, because the friction is very small.
It's simple oscillations due to the friction on the pivot that causes it to move its direction, Brenda. And why they need to
Hey.
magnetize it is to carry on moving it so it would be visible.
It doesn't have to be magnetized. That doesn't have to happen. You can do it without magnetic
And
assist.
does it lose its momentum, Brenda?
Yes. So does
So
a
not
gadget
freely
spinner.
moving, Brenda.
A gadget spinner rotates freely, even
No, it
though
doesn't.
it won't. Even though it won't rotate
What's friction?
indefinitely.
What's friction, Brenda? What does friction mean?
Friction is a force, which is when two surfaces rub each other.
So can friction cause something to deviate?
Not necessarily. No,
So-
it's simply a
sorry, I
force in the
thought-
opposite direction.
I thought F equals ma is a real thing, correct? So now you're throwing away F equals ma.
No, I'm not.
So
I'm just saying we can,
is friction a force, Brenda?
yes, it's
So
a force.
can that cause its directional rotation, Brenda?
It can cause a freely rotating body to slow down and stop.
Do we get freely rotating bodies ever in reality, Brenda?
Yes,
Can you please provide us with one?
a gadget spinner is a freely rotating
It's
body.
a bearing. It's got friction. It's not freely.
Yes, it does. We're allowed to discount. We're allowed to discount the friction because it's very small.
Do you understand your contradiction here, Brenda?
There's no contradiction.
Friction is a force, and a force causes a thing to accelerate or move. You know what inertia is, Brenda?
Yes, you're correct because the friction causes negative acceleration to the object that is experiencing the friction.
Great.
You're
So
correct.
what's inertia, Brenda?
Inertia is resistance to acceleration.
Great. And what happens to the pendulum again?
It slows down and stops.
You just debunked the pendulum yourself. Thank you very much.
That doesn't debunk it. That doesn't debunk it.
Boo.
Even,
Right.
Brenda, even if you had a bearing made of air-to-air contact still has friction, therefore will slow down.
I agree it will slow down. That doesn't affect it that much. You can still determine your latitude with a Foucault's pendulum. How is that possible on a flat Earth?
Can you determine your latitude with a scale?
Because of gravity?
The Eotvos effect.
Yeah, because of gravity.
I literally
The
just
Eotvos-
I did a demonstration in the beginning of the video showing that to be bunk as well.
Yeah. The Eotvos effect is a sort of an additional effect that's related to Coriolis.
So I debunked the Eotvos effect in the beginning of the
No, you
stream.
didn't. No, you didn't.
I showed a demonstration.
Oh, is that like one of your demonstrations where you lie and you pretend that lights are below a physical object? Is that one of your demonstrations?
Jimmy J said that's not Eotvos effect. Yes, Eotvos effect is due to the centrifugal force based on how far you are, your distance to the center of mass. That's why you would have a difference in weight measurement. I showed you by moving a simple scale just 10 centimeters away changes your weight measurement. I did not change latitude, yet it changed. Why? Because of scale variables. I explained those variables, and this just literally shows you guys to be nothing but ignorant globetards.
So I don't know what demonstration you did. Like I said, I didn't see it, but
Just like you didn't see the whole stream, and you make a claim that I didn't debunk it. But then we literally got you to debunk it yourself now with your own words.
No, I didn't. I explained to you how the
Delusions on the
Coriolis
highest
works.
level. Delusions on the highest level, Brenda.
Well, what am I delusional about?
Friction is a force, correct?
I'm not delusional about. I admit that friction is a force. I'm not
And
delusional
there's
about that.
friction, so no freely moving anything.
That it doesn't matter if you reduce friction down to a negligible level, where you're allowed. You can make predictions based on Coriolis, and you can determine your latitude. How do you explain the ability of somebody to determine their latitude with the Foucault's pendulum?
I can take the Foucault's pendulum, 2 of them right now, and stick them here, and both of them will give different results.
I doubt that. I doubt that very much.
Have you ever even used the Foucault's pendulum before?
No, I haven't.
Thank you. You just proved my point. Thank you.
What point is that?
That you don't have a clue what you're talking about. You're just going based on your belief.
Just because I haven't done it doesn't mean I don't understand it.
You simply don't, because you don't understand friction is the resistance to force.
I understand that friction is the resistance to force, but if you reduce the friction, then you can show the Coriolis effect and determine your latitude.
You literally just said you've never done it before. Then how would you validate that?
Doesn't matter if I've not done it or not. That's called a genetic fallacy.
No, that's not called a genetic fallacy. That's just called you are trying to have a cult belief and pushing it onto someone because you have a belief.
No, it's called a genetic fallacy when you claim that the results of an experiment are not true because the person.
What experiment? You first need an experiment to have a result for an experiment.
That's the Foucault's experiment. Yes, Foucault pendulum experiment.
Okay.
That's an experiment.
No, the Foucault is not an experiment. It's a demonstration.
Of course it is.
That friction causes oscillation.
No, that's not what it's about at all. No, you reduce the friction by using, a thin string or wire or something to attach to the weight, and a long period of oscillation.
Okay, let's put it this way. The longer the time goes, the less energy. Does the friction increase?
the friction will stay the same.
No, if something's moving slower, does it have more friction?
The friction, if there is any, will be at the pivot
There's
point.
always friction.
And that, it will be at the pivot point, and that friction point will always remain the same. There's very little. I suspect that it's the air that slows the pendulum down eventually. Air resistance.
That's friction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get your issue
Yeah.
here?
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know how much more I can explain it to Brenda, guys. I don't know. Lotion, do you have a way of
Well,
explaining
you're
it,
just
Brenda?
you're just claiming something that nobody disputes. Of course there's friction.
So no Coriolis then?
No, that doesn't follow. It doesn't follow.
It's the
that
same
because
reference frame. Same reference
No, let me-
frame. The cause for the so-called precession you are claiming is due to the oscillation because of the friction on the pivot. It's as simple as that.
Oh.
It's a mechanism. It's a mechanical device, not
Hey, Fletcher.
Coriolis.
Yeah, of course it's a mechanical device. It precesses, correct?
No,
Flatzoid?
no. There's no such thing as precession on a pendulum.
We observe it precess.
No, you observe oscillations due to friction.
It goes back and forth, but it also precesses. Do you know what that word means?
It doesn't precess, Brenda. There's no such thing as precession on a pendulum.
You can observe it precess. Do
You
know what that
observe
means?
the oscillation due to friction, Brenda.
No, the oscillation is the back and forth swinging of the pendulum. I'm talking about precession.
Sorry, you do know oscillation goes left to right as well.
That's not an oscillation, that's precession.
Again, the precession you are claiming is oscillation due to friction, Brenda.
Oh, that sounds like a hypothesis. Have you done an experiment?
No, that's not a hypothesis. No.
Yes,
Because
it is.
If you have a basketball on the end of a rope, let's say the rope is test line, okay? You swing the ball back and forth. The friction drawn upon the basketball will make it spin a little bit. And then
Why?
you'll notice that it'll veer off of its course. But that's due to friction, not because of a rotation that's taking place. That's because friction is working on the ball to make it oscillate.
If that was true, then it would
That is
precess-
true. That is not.
I
It's not if. That is true.
No, that you haven't done the experiment to show that.
What experiment?
So
You know what? I'm gonna take a string right to a basketball right now. Fuck it.
yeah. If it was actually due to air resistance that observed precession, then it would be random. But it's always in a preferred direction in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. The opposite
Sorry,
way.
have you done
Why-
this
why is
yourself,
that?
Brenda? Have you done this yourself, Brenda?
Why is that?
Have
Again,
you
that's
done this
with the
yourse-
genetic fallacy.
Have you done this yourself, Brenda?
That's a genetic fallacy.
It's a simple yes or no. And I know your answer is no,
No,
because
of course not. No,
I can
haven't.
do it here with two pendulums right next to each other and they'll give two different oscillation periods, two different directions.
Oh, not if you set it up correctly. It's unlikely you would be capable of setting it up correctly.
Oh, just like they said it would be impossible to debunk the Eotvos effect by moving your scale 10 centimeters.
Yeah, you haven't
Hold on,
debunked the Eotvos effect either.
I literally did. Okay, you ready, Lotion?
No. Right, so you have to explain why people can determine their latitude using the Foucault's pendulum and why the direction of precession is different in the northern and southern hemispheres. You can't explain that. Flat Earth doesn't explain that.
Again, Brenda, you do not actually get your latitude from a Foucault's pendulum. Just because
Yes,
they
you can.
listen, because you see YouTubers do it on the internet does not mean it's real. It just means you're a gullible fool. You
No,
can literally.
it can be done.
No,
it,
no,
it,
no,
it
no.
isn't just YouTubers.
Listen.
Other people do it.
Listen to me,
Just so you
Brenda.
know, Brenda, I'm making your experiment for you right now.
Quickly. You can literally do this yourself, Brenda, and make
Do
two
what
focal
yourself?
pendulums right next to each other and get different results.
You need to have a very long string that it's attached to. You have to have a long
Which is what
period of
attached.
oscillation.
Which is what attached.
Hold on.
to-
Hey, how long do you want it? How long do you want the wire? How long do you want it?
Yeah, I don't know. Why don't
Well,
you research? Why don't
Well, you gotta
research
give
that?
me a. You said you want it
I'm
to
not
be
gonna
long.
set up your-
Tell me
I'm
how
not gonna
long
set
you
up
want
your.
the-
I'm not going to set up your experiment for you. Why don't you work
I'm
it out?
setting up an experiment. I'm setting up the experiment for you right now as we speak. And I'm
Yeah.
asking you, how long do you want the wire?
Why don't you research how long
He's
does a
doing
focal
it
pendulum
physically
need
for
to
you.
be to show the
He's
the,
physically doing
Coriolis?
it for you. He's physically doing it for you, Brenda.
He's not doing it for me. He's doing it for himself. I already
No.
know the
I'm
result.
doing it for you.
Yeah, he's
I'm
doing
here
it
for
for
you.
you.
No, and you need to isolate. You need to isolate it. You need to have a good connection that will allow it to swing freely, and you need to
Yeah,
not disturb it. And I doubt that you're capable of doing that.
Making excuses already.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't have a vacuum in my house.
Well,
So
You don't need a vacuum, although it can be done in a vacuum.
I just have to say, Dust and Bones, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. All us truthers, we literally say, go and test it for yourself.
Yeah.
Hence
and they're
why,
like, no,
hence,
you do it.
hence
well,
why,
we've done it.
yeah,
We're doing it.
hence why I've got
No, you
so much
haven't.
demonstration.
You haven't done it.
Hence why I've got so much demonstrations on my channel, because I do it myself. I'm not telling you to
Yeah.
trust in my, go and do it yourself as well. It's as simple as that.
But you fake your demonstrations.
What?
Flatzoid.
What do you say?
You're a liar.
What?
Goodness.
What?
Flatzoid, you're a liar. You're a
Excuse
liar.
me?
You fake your demonstrations.
Guys, she's just literally conceded that doesn't have an argument,
Name
so will go and literally make claims that I'm a liar and a deceiver. So,
well,
Brenda,
yes, we can see
I
that
would
you do
like
it. We
you-
can see that you do it.
okay, show me where I lied and deceived, please. Where I cheated.
In your light experiment, you put the light below the object, and then pretended that was somehow
Below.
representative
The light
of
was
the real
below-
state of affairs.
The light was below the object. Okay, let's go see if
Yes.
the light is below the object, guys, because probably talking
Yeah,
about...
you put it below the can. You put it below the can, didn't
No,
you?
I didn't. Now
The
I'm
paint
gonna...
can.
No, it's
You put it.
always
You put
above.
the paint can in between. Yes, you did.
Below the paint can. It's definitely not below paint can. Ever. Once.
You put it lower. You lowered it, and you put a paint can
Guys,
in the middle, in between.
so what are we going to do
And
now
you-
when I prove you wrong quickly, Brenda? What is the what can we do if I prove you wrong right now? What are we going to say if I prove you wrong right now? I've never put that light below the paint can. I got it on screen now. Brenda? So you're going to tell me, what can we say if I've shown you to be wrong right now? Can we all say then you have no right to give any validation for anything because you've literally just lied live on TV, on internet again for everybody and showed you actually don't have a cooking clue what you're talking about?
Where are those frames? What happened to those frames, Flatzoid?
They're all in my video.
Why did you remove? Why did you
Ooh.
remove those frames?
Okay,
Flatzoid?
let's quickly show everybody how Brenda is being a moron as usual and doesn't actually know what the hell's going on.
Why did you remove
Okay,
those frames?
Look,
Flatzoid?
okay, look where the camera is. Look where the light is. Look where the
I don't
paint
see
can
anything.
is. Okay, guys.
I don't see anything.
I'm going to put my cursor on the light.
Yeah, I don't see anything, Flatzoid.
Open your eyes.
You need to share it. I'm on Discord.
Well, that's not my problem. This is for everybody on. Ooh, I'm moving the paint can with the light, and it's giving an apparent drop. Why? Because of acute angle. It's not physically dropping. It's only an apparent drop.
If I'm
It's
going to
still
see this, then I'm going to have to leave.
It's
So
still
I'll
on
catch
top.
up with you later.
It's still on top of the paint can. But let's move it a bit further now, guys. I'm leaving the paint can behind and just moving it to another paint can, which is exactly the same elevation. It's still having an apparent drop. Ooh. So,
full of it.
sorry, is the light still above the paint can? Yes, it is, guys.
Still above.
It's on top of another paint can, which is exactly the same size. Now I'm going to actually show you. I'm going to lift the camera. So let's see. Ooh, is it still above the paint can, which Brenda just said was below the paint cans? So Brenda, you just showed to be a liar. So what can we do about this, Brenda?
She ran to go and look at YouTube. She said she had to leave to look at this, so I don't know why.
Okay. So yeah, Flat Earth Coffee, that was... This was simply just to show how suns set on a flat Earth, because as goes away in the distance, it has an apparent drop, and then larger objects with a larger angular size will just occult it. Buildings, mountains, trees, waves, it doesn't matter. That was the whole point of the demonstration. Was the paint cans was just to show it stays above at the same elevation. That was it.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, sorry I have to do this, but I have to go. It's 11:15 already, and my petrol might run out. I've got to keep some petrol for tomorrow night's stream as well. I appreciate...
Brenda.
Brenda left.
Hey, 2 o'clock.
Brenda's gone.
Oh, boo.
Lotion, have you got a YouTube channel? Have you got a YouTube?
Yeah, it's called identity verification.
Oh yeah. Would you be able to put your link in the chat and maybe show us that demonstration on there so we can debunk Brenda some more?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah, guys.
I'm trying to isolate the friction. That's fucking impossible, man.
You can't.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not running freely at all of the Earth. It's still attached to the Earth. So it doesn't matter how small the friction is. It's still attached to the Earth through friction.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, if I could attach it to the sky, I would, but...
Exactly.
Trying to find your channel quickly. Identity verification.
YouTube throttles the shit out of me because I talk about love.
How dare you?
I know.
I know.
Just some dumb shit, but
Yeah. I mean, I am subscribed to you, but I don't know how the hell I'm going to find you in subscriptions. Okay, I'll find your channel sometime, and then I'll see the video, and then I'll share it.
Yeah,
So,
right on.
So short. Yeah, it will be great to see that demonstration to show Brenda just how wrong Brenda is again.
I wonder if they're paid to come in and do this.
No, I just think they're willing.
Comes in, makes a few little claims, and makes that a horrible accusation, then runs off.
No, but I love when they bring 11 frames up, because it's literally them conceding that the horizon is not physical, it's optical. And
it's a 3-year-old thing as well. They keep bringing it up from 3 years ago.
I love it. And the thing is, they ignore the video shows all the frames.
Exactly.
So when they say, where's the frames, I say, in the video. And they can't dispute it because it's in the video. It's idiotic. Yeah. So thanks all for coming. Really, really appreciate it. You guys are awesome stuff. Sorry I'm ending right now, but yeah, I need to keep some petrol for tomorrow night's stream as well. We are literally more off than we're on a day. We 4 hours off, 2 hours on, 4 hours off, 2 hours on kind of thing. So at the moment, this whole week, we've just been running on petrol on the Jenny. So at least I want to keep some petrol for tomorrow night's stream. So thank you guys all for coming. Really, really appreciate you all. You guys are really awesome stuff. And while I enjoyed the stream, I hope you guys did. Thank you all for the super chats. Thank you all for the likes and stuff. And please don't forget, if you can, please support that backup buddy for my wife's mother's operation, if possible. Appreciate everybody that is able to and not. And even if you can't, please just share it, because it is quite a hefty amount of money, and I don't have 160k. So, and I would love to help. So this is my way of trying to help. Thank you guys all for being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Many blessings, and may the pressure be with you.